multiple comments and thumbs up. So
what has?
I'm hopeful that that video is going to do really well. And I've got it titled, Is Ben Shapiro in jail? So I'm hoping maybe that'll clickbait me some people too. Yeah, I know. Jesus Lord is correct. On that video that I typed, please, Ben Shapiro was typed as an INTJ. That fucker is no INTJ. Never in a million billion years.
Winston's mom called me Karma's pimp, I think.
No, I think she was talking to Karma's pimp.
Oh. I was going to say, I like that title. But apparently it's taken.
Look at that kitty pet over there. Oh, so noble and good and true.
We got a...
The live stream was just that, just the cat. I still want to watch it.
We got a new kitten. It's crazy.
It's better than the old kitten.
Time will tell.
Have you named it yet?
Yes. I don't remember its name though. I don't get to name it. Its name is Tiny Kitty.
Tiny Kitty, that's a good name.
Because it's tiny. And the other one is Callie. Luna. It's Luna.
Actually, tiny is used ironically for very large men. So, but in this case, you literally mean tiny. It's not an ironic tiny.
I'm a sensor. I'm not an intuitive. Yes, we don't get that abstract.
But you know, I think even any person would agree that if you have, say, a platoon in the army, and one of the members of the platoon is nicknamed Tiny, that he's sure to be the biggest one.
Like Little John from Robin Hood.
Right, he's the biggest of all of the criminals.
He is, and they're Lost Boys.
The Lost Boys.
They're not criminal. They're not criminals. They're the good guys. Or wait, Lost Boys is Peter Pan.
Yeah, that's Peter Pan. If you could inflate her to regular human size, would you want to have sexual intercourse with Tinkerbell?
Say that again.
Would you be worried about
If
you could inflate her
Tinkerbell?
inflate her to regular human size, would you want to have sexual intercourse with Tinkerbell?
I would say that if she were regular sized and not animated, chances are likely.
Yeah.
Chances.
Talk about the real Tinkerbell, not the animated.
I think real life size Tinkerbell is it's looking good for P and VG.
Okay, but here's a risk maybe you didn't consider. Are you worried about getting fairy dust on you?
You know, I hadn't thought about fairy dust, but I do hate glitter, and they seem to be basically the same thing.
I wonder if Tinkerbell can change the reflecting quality of her fairy dust. If she can make it either more glittery or more like a dull finish.
Well, the problem is does that stuff make you float? And if so, how fast do we have to get this over with before you just start drifting out of the intercourse? Because I could see that making for an angry time.
Okay. And also, if it does make you float, in which media do you become buoyant? Is it just water? Can you float? Can you float in liquid lava? I need to know more about this floating power.
I mean, if you can float through the air, then you can float through anything that's more dense, which would include lava for sure.
I see, through the air. Okay, that makes more sense. I think that's called flying. They're not really flying, are they? They're kind of directionally floating.
They don't seem to have a lot of control over it, at least at first. So
Right.
it's like skiing. You're just kind of controlling the fall when you go skiing the first time.
So if you could get Superman style flight, but you don't get to have sex with real life Tinkerbell, or you can get Tinkerbell style flight by having sex with real life Tinkerbell, which do you choose?
What are the two types of flight? So you don't get to have sex, but you do get more controlled flight.
You get the Superman style where you have to fly like this.
But then if you do have sex with her, then what kind of flight do you get? Because I don't want to. My arm would fall asleep.
It's sort of like you float and you kind of like swim the air to make yourself move, but you basically the Tinkerbell flying isn't flying at all; it's just floating, levitating.
Well,
you have to propel yourself. You're subject to winds, for example.
I'm gonna take the better flying. I figure that if you can fly well, you can have sex with anybody you want to.
Okay, well, of course, just as to get Tinkerbell's flight, you have to have sex with Tinkerbell. To get Superman's flight, you have to have sex with Superman.
Oh shit!
His sperms they come out really fast.
Wait, so you're not on the giving end of both of these?
Well, you have to come to. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't actually talked to Superman about it.
You better figure out how the Superman sex works, and then we can answer that question properly. Because
so if Superman's the catcher, maybe, but Superman's the pitcher.
I mean, if he's gonna blow a super hole through your sternum, then
he's gonna pull out.
I still think you should talk to Superman, figure out for sure how this happens, and then
Look, I want to be really clear about this. I am aware.
Can he wear Tinkerbell's dress?
I am aware that if I come in your mouth, I will blow the back of your head off. So trust me when I say I'm not gonna come in your mouth.
But wait, will Superman wear the Tinkerbell dress?
I'm not sure. I'll have to contact him and follow up with him about it.
Okay, because
he likes to wear his red and blue suit a lot of places, even when it's
he does, doesn't he? Yeah. What is it with him and spandex?
It's hard to get him out of that suit. Like one time, I was like, "Hey, Superman, come on! This is a formal dinner. This is for a wedding party. This is about the bride. They don't want you to stand out. You're just there. Just come on."
The thing about Tinkerbell, though, that you also got to keep in mind is if you did Tinkerbell, you'd have to be able to get the fuck out of Neverland quickly, because there'd be a lot of jealous boys.
Oh yeah, because all the Lost Boys want to get out of Tinkerbell.
Right.
If Taylor's boat stops there briefly for a coconut gathering session and he ends up banging her after those guys have failed to do so for 6 months, they're gonna be unhappy.
They will.
And Tinkerbell's gonna hear about it too at that point. It's like she's gonna be under a lot of pressure to put out after you leave with your coconuts.
So there's a lot more things to consider here than just the A-B dichotomy that you presented me with. I think that we need to really investigate the circumstances surrounding this more. Also, who gets pregnant? Maybe it's conceivable that Superman would get pregnant 100% of sexual interactions because he's super fertile.
He's also from Krypton, and we don't know how the reproductive processes work on Krypton. It could be any number of possible things.
So there's just too much going on here to know for sure. But I think I'm gonna, my gut instinct says that I'm going to have sex with Tinkerbell and just float around the cosmosphere instead of getting throat blasted by super sperm.
Now, here's a question somebody asked the other day in the chat, and I thought it was a really good question. But I rephrase it a little bit. But which is less cheating? Having sex with your girlfriend in her sister's body, or your girlfriend's sister in your girlfriend's body?
Whoa.
Which would you rather do, and which is less cheating?
Do you know it beforehand?
Yeah, you're given the choice. Hey, it's like let's say your girlfriend's name is Jill, and your girlfriend's sister's name is Jane. Okay, so Jill walks up. The body of Jill walks up and says, "It's me, Jane, inside of Jill." And then the other person walks up, "Oh, it's me, Jill, inside of Jane." And then
look at who's here. All right, ask the question again.
Okay. So I've done it to you because now you have to make a choice. You have to choose one of these things. So here's the question, Katie and Taylor. Is it more cheating to have sex with your girlfriend in her sister's body, or your girlfriend's sister in your girlfriend's body? So there's a body switch, a soul switch, you see?
I think that it's probably more cheating to have sex with the sister, even in the girlfriend's body.
Okay. So
But
you wouldn't buy the argument, well, hey, I never touched anybody but yours.
what do you think?
I don't.
She says have sex with whoever you want.
No, I don't.
Oh.
No.
See, here's the thing why I think you're right, Taylor, is because
Have sex with the soul.
If you have sex with your girlfriend's sister in her body, you're spending time with the girlfriend's sister, and the girlfriend is excluded from that intimate sexual occasion, right? So in that regard, it's cheating. But if on the other way, if it's your girlfriend in her sister's body, then she's there for the whole thing, so it's not cheating. And your girlfriend's sister is not there for the whole thing, so it's not cheating.
Yeah, that's probably right.
But but it would probably cause problems, because then your girlfriend's gonna be like, "Did you like fucking me in my sister's body more?"
Yeah, you'd have to act like that was just some mediocre sex.
It's an interesting question, though, huh? The original question that was asked was simply, which would you rather do? Have sex with your girlfriend in her mom's body, or your girlfriend's mom in her body?
Oh my God.
Which is a somewhat different question, but similar.
Hello, David.
I mean, the thing is, I would rather have sex with Rachel and Rachel's mom's body. The nice thing about that one is it's much less likely in the aftermath of it that Rachel's going to be like, "Did you like having sex with me more in my mom's body?" Because obviously her mom's pretty old, and obviously I would not like having sex with her mom's body more. But if it's sister, it's a much more tricky one. Best friend would even cause even more problems, probably.
I don't think best friend would cause more problems than family.
Okay, well, I've never had a sibling, so I don't know what it's like. I feel as though I don't get that relationship. Like, I don't get the brother-sister relationship. I remember one time, like, telling my friend Chris Morrow that I thought his sister was hot, and him getting, like, annoyed at me, and me being like, "I don't understand this. What is this thing here?" It's like, you don't even like your sister, it seems like, when you interact with her, and yet here you are mad because I say she's hot, you know? But what the hell? But that's just because I'm an only child, so I don't relate.
How old was she?
She was older than us. She was 2 years older than us. Kimberly Morrow. She was in retrospect, I'd say probably ISFJ, and she was she was thick, but still like she was probably 17. I was like 15. So thick for 17 is not really thick. It means she's got big old boobs.
He was probably just tired of hearing about it.
I mean, I don't remember going on and on about it. I remember bringing it up one time.
Oh no, I'm sure that you're not the only one who mentioned his thick sister.
What I think is interesting is that what Dave Sanderson just brought up, which is this desire to summarize things in terms of an IQ score. I think his IQ is probably about there, but that doesn't tell you anything meaningful about somebody's intellect. It's like you don't have to approximate their intellect. You can actually have it demonstrated in applied situations. It's like I don't have any qualms. I'm not fussy about stuff like that.
I know that you're not, which is why I didn't mention it earlier, because I know that you're not fussy. But David popped on cam, and right. So I just wanted,
See, I think that's the thing. I actually thought that he was saying he was doing that. I didn't realize that was you saying that.
Oh yeah, no, that was me.
He probably had an emotional attachment to her or protective of your desire because sex is typically exploitative of the woman. Well, that makes good sense. Although they did seem to bicker quite a bit, so I guess that's family for you. You love me when you bicker. One of the interesting things that I experienced is in various ways that people try to reduce or dismiss, depending on the circumstances, like my legitimacy. One of them is this guy comes around periodically and accuses me of being a freeloader. Because I'm living in my dad's house, I guess.
That's a dickhead thing to do.
Yeah. One of them is to say that that I'm being dishonest in some fashion. I'm just using tricks. It's all smoke and mirrors, blah, 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 blah. I get that sometimes. And the thing is, the ones that bother me are the ones that are either patently untrue or totally irrelevant. Like, when somebody takes something that is definitely not a problem and says, now this is your biggest problem. It's like, okay, you're just trying to muddy the water, or just trying to shoot out attacks, or I don't know. There's another class of people who are comforted by me having a low IQ score. They seem to think that if they could establish or have me agree with that I have a low IQ score, then finally I'd be put in my place. I would cease to think I'm so smart or something. Of course, the reality is I don't think I'm so smart. I think I'm so careful argumentationally.
We think that you're so smart, though.
Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate it.
I got you. Nothing's wrong with you.
I took a mental test. Somebody wanted me to take a mental test, online mental test the other day. It was nothing but TENI. It was all visual pattern recognition. Okay, I got 107 on it.
Out of what? 100?
I mean, 100 is considered average. That's how they norm out those kind of standardized tests. But the point is that I'm perfectly fine with that being my official IQ score, 107. Because if I'm 107 then nobody can say you think you're so smart.
Hey,
You're smart. I can just say, well, no, I think I have an IQ of 107.
we've got a pretty legitimate question from emailed Anthrax though. Regarding Tinkerbell. If her fairy dust is like dandruff, would you force her to take a shower before sex? And my response was, I think that's her prerogative because I've never heard of a dude turning down sex because of a chick's dandruff. But he said, so you're okay with a woman with heavy dandruff getting it all over you? And I'm not actually. So I think that if she's got big go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Are you okay with her accidentally being dandruff on you?
Here's the thing. If her flakes of pixie dust are big and scaly enough that we're in a dimly lit bar and I'm noticing them, then she's got to do something about that. Apparently I go to bars though where that I just haven't run into this issue before.
What?
And I got to think that Tinkerbell is too clean to have that happen.
So you suspect that Tinkerbell is clean and that the fairy dust may appear as dandruff because it comes from her scalp, but it's not
I don't think it comes from her scalp, and I don't think that it is in flakes. I don't think that it even resembles dandruff. However, if it was like sparkly dandruff and it was coming off in big shards, we'd have an issue.
Okay. See, I picture it more like crystals of methamphetamine floating through the air. Just a cloud of white dust, you know? Like somebody threw a bag of cocaine into the air. That's fairy dust, right?
So everybody's chasing after it.
Right. I don't think there's any glitter in it. I just think you gotta wonder about what it's cut with.
So where is this magical chick? This magical chick who just rains hard drugs off of her body.
She's the drug nymph. The thing is, she'll sometimes cut that fairy dust. If she'll cut it with baking soda, that's fine. But if she cuts it with something like, baby X-Lax, you're going to poop a lot while you're floating. Or just to live by it.
Or Epsom salts, and or whatever.
Xavier Renegade Angel? No, I don't know what that is.
But I mean, if pixie dust is the hard drugs, then she certainly is not allowed to shower first, and we're going to be doing it on box springs with no springs, really, and a catch tray underneath, because this is just shifted from recreation or maybe acquiring the ability to float around into a serious business opportunity.
Right. Well, you got to catch the keef.
The shake, right?
Keef is like the super powder.
Oh yeah, no, keef is good. Shake is bad.
Yeah, at the end of your grinder, after you've got all the weed out and you've used your grinder a bunch of times, it starts getting caked with this tan stuff, this tan dust.
Have you ever snorted the keef?
No, I never snorted keef.
Well, you should snort keef.
I snorted a lot of things, but not keef. Hypothetically, since I've last spoken to you, or seen you, I guess, I have tried one time, hypothetically only, in theory, snorting a Klonopin.
It's kind of a waste of time. Klonopin is kind of a waste of time.
No, it's not.
Well, I think it's not a waste of time at all if you actually want it to if you actually want to go to sleep. Right?
If you like that boring ass feeling.
It is not boring.
If you actually do want to go to sleep, then it's a good drug for you to sleep. It successfully put Rachel to sleep after 6 months of insomnia. You know, she put her to sleep. She was on a bunch of trazodone, and she'd be awake fucking for days on no speed at all.
What is trazodone?
Trazodone is an anti-crazy drug. It's actually a
Isn't it?
antihistamine, but it's an antihistamine that is prescribed off-label for sleep and on-label for mood.
Depressant? Is it an antidepressant?
Say again?
Is it an antidepressant?
No, it's a supposedly, well, it's technically an antihistamine, but like a lot of antihistamines makes you sleepy, and the way in which that particular antihistamine makes you sleepy is called a mood stabilizer, but it's not really a mood stabilizer. Anyway,
Sounds awful.
the thing about trazodone, I took a trazodone one time to help me sleep, and it was about like taking like 3 Benadryl pills, you know. It was just, it did make me sleep, but it wasn't, it didn't, you know how antihistamine sleep is kind of weird, whereas Klonopin sleep, it's like
You're out?
you're out, and then you wake up in the morning, you're like, so rested.
It is a happy wake up.
The thing is, Horse Bumper says, "Whoa, can you actually get anything out of starting that stuff?" Well, as far as
Not really.
the answer is, I wouldn't suggest that it's.
Nice.
You know, Klonopin's not a party drug. It can make if you're thoroughly thwacked out, and feeling, then you can take half a Klonopin and then you'll still be thoroughly thwacked out, but you'll be comfortable. So there's that. But by and large, it's not a drug that really makes you feel good. It makes you feel tired.
I mean, I would beg to differ, but
Big differ about what?
She liked Klonopins.
yeah.
Oh, you like them? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just find them. I don't like downers of any sort, really.
Well,
But I occasionally find myself like, okay, I'm so gacky right now. I feel so gacky that.
I think I'm gacked out like naturally. Of course, anxiety is probably.
Yeah, and that's one thing that like I've realized is I just don't have anxiety. Certainly not like people who have anxiety. I'm pretty much not worried about basically anything, even the things I think I'm worried about.
Yeah, I'm minorly anxious some of the time. You know, I'm mostly pretty comfortable as well. I do tend to keep this sort of underlying sense of dread almost that, you know, something that ultimately I'm gonna get in trouble about something, you know. But maybe that's just lately.
Anxiety to me.
COVID.
Oh yeah, COVID doesn't help. Anxiety to me is mostly sometimes like, you ever have that feeling like when you're about to fall and it like makes your heart jump?
I thought that would be more like a street share.
Oh, he's talking.
The thing is,
This is the mic right here.
I know it.
Okay. Well, I don't know if how well your voice picks up over there.
Eric heard me earlier.
Well,
unmuted
fine.
myself.
Fine.
People don't like me or complaining. Okay, friends, loving friends. Let's talk a little bit about what it means to be loving friends. So, for example, loving friends don't say you are a coward, but that's not very loving. Okay. Now, if you wanted to express that you were upset at somebody, you might say instead, Diamond, right now I'm feeling triggered. Can you help me? Help you? Help me? Help my emotions? That'd be a better way to say it, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
That's why this is called the Loving Friends live stream. Because loving friends treat each other lovingly.
It is.
And here's something else to remember, friends. Friends who make wise choices, they choose wisely. Friends who make poor choices are choosing poorly. Gives you a lot to think about, doesn't it? A lot to think about. So, Katie, you were telling me about your recent work into the matter of loving friends, friendship, and what it means to be a loving friend. Tell us, share with us your thoughts on loving friendship.
On loving friendships?
Fuck that shit.
I don't know. Lately, I've probably been more on track and not. That's probably just politics, though.
ISFPs hate loving friendship.
I like loving friendships. I just spend too much time inside and away from people. And then
Katie, she's an ISFP.
yeah. And then I talk to people and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember I like you guys.
There, Katie. Well, what I'm saying is, if you had some advice to give, Katie, to people in the live chat who sometimes get in kind of heated arguments with each other, and sometimes call each other names, and sometimes even call me names, believe it or not, what advice would you give as an FI Dom to help us with our moisture?
Don't take things so personally.
Don't take things so personally.
Listen to somebody else for wait, how do I want to word that? I don't know, actually listen to people rather than trying to find something to say. A lot of people just want to be listened to.
Actually listen to people. That's good advice in general. You know, it's great advice. It's a reality that people don't listen very much. I'd like to think I'm a pretty careful listener, but not a natural listener. So when I do listen, I understand everything that's being said and catch everything mostly, but I don't always remember to think to listen. Sandy said, love is messy. Is that necessarily the case?
Who are you asking?
Anybody in the chat or you?
Life is messy, so of course love would be messy.
Do you find that a good relationship requires work in general?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of work? Like compromise or communication or building a deck together outside?
I mean, I suppose it depends on the relationship. I think a lot of relationships more need two people in it that want to be in it and aren't looking for reasons to get out of it or reasons to leave it.
Yeah.
Like if this happens and I'm out of here, like, no, you need two people that are going to figure out, I don't know, how to build that deck or how to talk to each other, or I don't remember what else you said, but
I don't either. Okay, so the thing is, I found that I think there's a couple of different styles of relationships that work. One is a style of relationship where the two people successfully work together, both on the relationship, about the relationship, and other things. And the other style of relationship is the one where the two people successfully don't work together. Like, in other words, there aren't many differences to address. The thing is, having some differences to address is not necessarily a bad thing in a relationship, right? It makes you engage the other person about who they are and what they want, and etc., and vice versa, and that can be intimacy building.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard said before that it's not healthy to never fight.
Yeah.
But the fact is,
Yeah, you certainly have to learn how to fight.
In the last 6 months, though, I can honestly say Rachel and I haven't had a single fight. Now, in the first 6 months, we had quite a few because we were getting our medication straightened out. Once we got a private psychiatrist who got her on the right combination of meds, switch flipped, and she ceased being crazy, and we haven't had a single fight since. Does that mean that we should fight more or something? Or is that an alternative form of healthy relationship where people don't really fight at all?
I don't know, like it while it lasts, because it probably won't last forever. Then you'll have to learn how to fight again.
That's very pessimistic of you, Katie.
Yeah. Well, it's probably just life. I mean, if that lasts forever, then that's great, but you'll probably get in an argument again. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the meds. I mean, but that, or it could end up being something wrong with meds, because if you're someone who has to, I mean, that can be a difficulty forever. And then it's got to, I mean, that's something that just has to be dealt with.
Arguments are growth, or certainly can be. And, I suspect that if Rachel and I do end up having more arguments as time passes, that even then, they're very unlikely to be loud or heated. Just because
you don't have to win arguments, in my opinion, a lot of times in a relationship. When he really wins.
Right. See, the thing is, Rachel and I have, one of the reasons we don't argue much is because if either of us has suggests something like, hey, can you not do that or whatever, there's not, the response to the other person is, oh shit, I'm sorry, my bad, blah, blah, blah. It's not, well, you do which is what I've experienced in previous relationships. There's this sort of
respect.
I've also seen in previous relationships a genuine bridging of differences through communication that was rewarding and component of a pair bonding.
It sounds like you've got like a little bit of respect for, like, if you say, hey, don't do that, then you more just respect the other person's opinion rather than being like accusing or whatever.
Well, Winston's mom says the worst fight that you two had was online one night, and you both could be seen holding back the little punches. That's the case. Is Rachel and I understand that words that she or I said a year ago are still on the flow and still have to be accounted for. And if they weren't the right words, then you said. It's super important to both of us. This is probably what we could fairly call an intuitard version of missing the point, which is really, does it really matter so much exactly how she phrased this sentence a year ago, or how I phrased this sentence a year ago? And ought we really still reference things we said from that long time ago if we're having a discussion about our perspectives on things? You know, it's like, how long are you really held accountable for something you said a year ago or something? This is not an issue particularly specific to me and Rachel that I'm referring to, but it's just a habit I've noticed that we're hypersensitive about words, both of us, and as a consequence, we almost never say the wrong thing to each other. It doesn't mean we don't do the wrong thing to each other. Like, for example, I told Rachel, this happens all the time. I told Rachel tonight, okay, let me upload this Miss Pierre video. Don't go to the weed store because we're almost out of weed. And then by the time I was done uploading, I didn't feel like doing that anymore. So we didn't go do that. It doesn't bother her at all. She doesn't, I don't think she ever really believes when I say, we're going to go do this when, she knows I just mean, here's a random idea I'm throwing out. Maybe it'll happen. So it doesn't bother her at all. If it bothered her a lot, then that would be a conflict between us, right? If she was somebody like Kimberly, who following through on what you said was massively important, then we'd have a problem. But Rachel's equivalent is telling the truth is massively important. That's very different. Not following through on what you say you're going to do is not the same thing as being dishonest, you know?
Yeah.
Jeff Shaw, you've already been invited twice to join us here in the room. Now there's no more room in here because it's full. So at this point, this is the third time you've complained about having to type into the chat. And this is the third time I immediately presented you the alternative solution of speaking with your voice. If you don't want to speak with your voice, then don't complain about typing with your fingers. I mean, for reals, though. Jeff Shaw, I don't have a preference either way, frankly. You expressed that you were having a problem, and I offered you a solution to it. That's what happened. It's awfully presumptuous of you to assume that you know better than I do whether I want to hear your voice or whether I am serious in my inviting you to come talk. So it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. If you want to bitch and complain about how you're disadvantaged because you have to type with your fingers into the chat, then accept my offer to come talk to me in the room. When you don't accept it, and then you continue to complain about having to type in the chat as though you had no other option, then you paint yourself into a bad corner. And then when I call you on it, and you say that the reason is because I don't want to hear your voice, when you're the one complaining, well, talk about disingenuous. That's my sassy voice, mister. You just got some sass. You got 6 pints of sass. Okay, so let's see what else is going on. I believe we were discussing the topic of loving friendship.
Yes.
Loving friendship doesn't pour sass as wantonly, perhaps, as I just poured it. And that just goes to show you, even me, somebody who hosts these symposiums on loving friendship, can sometimes be not so loving in my friendship.
You sound kind of like a cross between Mr. Rogers and Bob Ross right now.
Well, you know, it's as Running Fox says, Katie. Jeff Shaw, you're not behaving well, nor are you playing well with others.
Be nice.
So Jeff Shaw is a recent arrival in the community. He came in with fiery sword in both hands, swinging them around. I woke up one morning, and the typing session I had put up the night before had an atypically large, like 246 comments or something. And they were, 90% of them were Jeff Shaw and the people he was arguing back and forth with, right? And then he left a voicemail for me, and he came in here, and he's been, last time I live streamed last night, he spent a great deal of time enigmatically explaining that there's some truth I needed to learn better or understand better, but refusing to articulate what it was. And now he's here battling people unnecessarily in the chat. What's going on, Jeff Shaw? What's going on? You're gonna slam dunk my friend? First of all, Jeff
What
Shaw,
friend?
you should know, if you haven't learned before, I'll give you a pass. I'm assuming you're relatively new. I don't threaten. I don't threaten well. So threatening me is always a bad approach.
What does that even mean? I'm going to slam dunk your friend. Like, what?
Yeah. Number two, what friend are you talking about? Oh, this is directly to me. What friend are you talking about? And number three, you've yet to display any capacity to slam dunk. I've been watching you jump and shoot baskets now since you've gotten here, and you've yet to get within a foot and a half of the basket. What makes you think you were going to be able to slam dunk this time? Do you have a trampoline?
Are those your guns?
That's my nice singing.
Your nice guns.
My friend, he's going to dunk running Fox, isn't it? He says, behave or I will slam down. Oh, you friend. I'm sorry. There's a lack of a comma that confused me. So you, comma, friend would make sense. So I assumed he said your friend. I read your friend instead. The importance of punctuation,
Yeah, I think I read it the same.
Okay. You're going to slam dunk me? Go ahead. I'm ready. Here we go. Let's have it. Here comes the slam dunk. I am being bounced against the hardwood floor currently.
I'm always on time.
Dribbling towards the basket. He's about to go up into the air and slam dunk me through the hoop. Drum roll, please. Go ahead, Jeff Shaw. Jeff.
Where did he go? Define typology.
Okay. That's not a slam dunk. Sorry. It's not even I would say it's a question, except it's actually a command. But it's fine. I'll treat it like a question. You ask me a question, you're saying you want me to define typology. That's not a slam dunk. Sorry. Your ego is making threats your body can't cash as the immortal Top Gun informed us with his wisdom.
If you're going to slam dunk him, it is. Wait, like you needed to wait till he defined typology and then you slam dunk him. You don't.
Right. Yeah, you wait until you're in position to slam dunk.
You probably
That's
shouldn't.
not how I'm going to define typology, so you're claiming you're going to slam dunk off of that definition is just bluster. Just bluster. Jeff Shaw, you're like a blustery day.
Like on Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh, of course, yes. Right. Winnie the Pooh, wherever they lived, Christopher Robin, what's that forest called? The woods? Something woods or
I don't remember.
anybody remember what the forest or the woods or whatever it was that Winnie the Pooh lived in was called? 100-acre woods, thank you.
Yes.
So probably of all places on Earth that experience blusteriness as a weather phenomenon, it most frequently occurs in the 100-acre woods.
Mm-hmm.
If you say, what place is blustery? I bet, or what do you associate the word blustery with? Blustery day, especially. I bet most people would say Winnie the Pooh. Jeff Shaw, I already gave you your chance to slam dunk me. I'm not going to play your little game. You've already indicated that you aren't going to do what you said you did, and so I'm not gonna. The fact that you failed to call my bluff is not a reason why I should continue to play along with your bullshit. Okay. In fact, I called your bluff, and there was nothing there. That's not a good reason for me to continue to play along with your bullshit. I mean, even you must surely understand that. My bong and blowtorch are right here. That's a good reminder. I will pull a bong right now. I just say I'm rather fond of Rachel's new bong. Rachel broke her last bong because she's DE polar and knocks shit over all the time. So we had to get her a new bong. I like this one a lot. It's got a cool structure to it. The stem at the bottom is a circle with slits all along the sides of it. So the smoke is pulled out through the water from different spots. Like, it's like it doesn't all come out from one spot. It comes out all around. So anyway, I will use Rachel's bong to pull this bong rip. I mean, here's the other thing to note. This is actually something a teachable moment. Joshua, if you wanted to successfully critique me and ask a question that would get you somewhere, you wouldn't ask me to define typology. Because I'd simply say the area of thought and study related to personality types, which is not a disputable definition. So, I may disappoint you, Jeff Shaw. You don't disappoint me. You are about what I would expect. You think you are the first person to come here and do this, right? Jeff Shaw thinks this shtick of his is original, that he's the master purveyor of it, and that we've never encountered it before. You're not uncommon, Jeff Shaw. People come in here all the time trying to pantomime argumentation to attain domination or primacy in this environment. But the problem is, you absolutely can't attain primacy and domination in this environment temporarily, for the moment. You just have to actually make a good argument and be correct. You'll never fool me with this kind of bullshit, right? Jeff Shaw says I have no deep understanding. But you have never articulated anything that comprises this thing you keep referencing.
Anybody wanting you to define typology is, that doesn't deserve to be answered. Is anybody confused by that? Or are they just trying to do a maneuver?
The thing is, it's fine if he's just trying to do a maneuver, but if he's just trying to do a maneuver, he wouldn't ask me to define typology because he can't do it implementationally. He'd ask me to define something like an intentional manner. That'd be more challenging to define, potentially. And then he'd say, isn't this critical to your thing? And you don't really have a clear definition of intentional manner. And you only have examples and Eric, they all have Dunning-Kruger effect in full swing. I mean, that's part of Jeff Shaw's problem, probably. He thinks he understands something that he's brushed up against that he assumes is as big as the part he felt, but is actually a much more substantial area of comprehension, I guess you'd call it. Cognitive functions provide a frame of reference that's much larger than any other psychological model provides. Like if I tell you, well, you've got attachment disorder because when you were a child, your parents didn't love you properly. That's great. That's fine. But that does not serve as a frame of reference in general. In other words, you can't link everything that people do or most things that people do to that one issue. It doesn't generalize at all. If you're talking about Big Five, it doesn't generalize at all. It doesn't work as a ideational tool beyond exactly what it is. Cognitive functions are different. They change the whole perspective because they give you a reason to believe that your way isn't best inherently.
Except TI is the best. I mean, we all know that TI is holds premium bestness slot.
I mean, the thing is, we still feel it, but at least we recognize that our conviction on this is not unusual at all. That it's quite typical of cognitive function bias that everybody displays in a variety of ways. The more that I think about how people sort of impose their cognitive function bias on others, the more mad I get about certain things from my childhood where I was told this or that or the other thing, when it was just clearly some fucking STJ imposing their TE bias on me. There was a sign that said in the orchestra room, if you don't have time to do it right the first time, how will you ever have time to fix it? Well, I mean, it's a terrible message for me. If I don't accept that I'm going to do it wrong the first time, how will I ever get it done? And it's like, and people impose those sort of messages on others, assuming they represent a universal truth, when they're just saying, they're just saying, this is my function bias, and I'm going to presume that it applies to you too.
Okay, I'm going to.
Yeah, I'm not very far behind here.
Hi.
You guys are crashing.
I am.
She is. I'm probably not much longer for this live stream.
Bye, friends.
So I'm reeling as always. Okay, what do you think reeling means, Jeff Shaw? So if I were reeling right now, what would that look like? I guess I'd be completely thrown off by Jeff Shaw's brilliant comments and struggling to come up with any kind of response, or but what do you mean by reeling? Because I don't see any indications of me reeling as it's normally understood. But words do matter, Jeff Shaw.
I think a reel is sort of like a recoil, like Is he doing that's what he's doing?
They are not pointed, just true. So is it truth that I'm reeling? I'm trying to get them to the bottom of this. If it is the truth, I would love and appreciate it if you would share with me your understanding of what it means to be reeling. And you're picking up on some subtle cues that I'm obviously missing. I want to know when you can read me so well, it see that I'm reeling. What are the cues that I'm giving away that you're picking up on? Because I need to work on this, obviously. Only you can help me, Jeff Shaw. I can't even tell when I'm reeling, let alone know what cues I'm giving out. So I'm asking you, please, Jeff Shaw, will you help me?
Another cue for when you're reeling is, when you cast, you can hear the spool going zzz, and then you click and it stops the outflow, and then there's a slow, steady reeling sound because now you're turning it back in.
Right, that slow, steady sound is a good indication of breathing.
Right, and it should be smooth. You shouldn't be jerking your reel around.
Don't jerk your reel.
Don't jerk my reel.
Right. So the thing is, that's Taylor. I'm chatting with Taylor.
I've been told, and you probably have.
Okay. So, Jeff, it is true that I am mocking you. That does not mean that I'm misunderstanding you. And you can see how I'm applying an objective calculus to determine the legitimacy of your statement. I'm acknowledging the part that's correct. Yes, you are right. I am
or when you start a reel, like on a film projector, at the very beginning it goes boop, and there's that little circle that flashes up in the top right corner. When you start the reel, there's that.
There's that. Hey, Jeff Shaw included you in the discussion as well, Taylor. You are limited right.
I'm limited in what way?
Jeff, limited right. See, Jeff's the gauge hole knowing, and what he does is he explains how,
Is there a metric by which he gauges his knowingness, or is it just arbitrary?
It's just completely. He won't answer any questions about what he means.
So I think that makes him limited, right? I mean, it makes him. He has only the limited capacity to be right if his metric is so arbitrary.
Okay, well, this is how Jeff Shaw would say this. Taylor, you're a good person, and you're getting there.
Well, I'm not, and I am not. No.
I believe you're a good person, but you still have a lot to grow.
Sounds like a fucking liberal.
Or, look, Eric, you got a lot of things right. It's true, but you don't have any spirit. Oh, okay. No spirit. Eric, you're good and stuff, but the thing is.
Well, Jeff, jump in the link that he's given out 1,000 times, and I'll put back down there, and you can jump in. We can look each other face to face. We can talk it out.
Chess guy, can you go away, please, so that we have room for Jeff Shaw for a minute? Come on in, Jeff Shaw.
Come on, Jeff. He probably has a reason why he can't.
I mean, he's complained about not being able to talk, and I offered him to come here now multiple times, and and yet he doesn't seem to think. It's like I don't know if he's got some sort of immunity to cognitive dissonance or what, but he wants to be
Jeff Shaw.
But
Step.
Jeff Shaw, come on now.
Step on up. Show us the boundaries of our rightness. Where are the limits to our rightness?
You want to talk? Come on in.
Yep.
Jeff Shaw, the 200 IQ troll. No, the thing is, Jeff Shaw left a voicemail on my phone, so I do fully believe, and I have good reason to believe, that Jeff Shaw is a new weirdo, not a new name of an old weirdo. Okay, no offense to the weirdo term there. I include myself in that category. So I do believe that Jeff Shaw is a brand new person, and that he's a real person that's distinct from Queen's Gambit or anybody else, and he's Jeff
He's
Shaw.
a real person to be distinguished from a reeling person, which he also apparently is reeling as well. But
well, the thing is, he doesn't want to be put on the spot where all of his enigmatic hint, looking at stuff and so forth is called to the floor and said, okay, now tell us what you mean.
Somebody suggested that it was Queen's Gambit, which I can see how they do have the same style of douchebaggery, but it's apparently not the same person.
Come on, Jeff. Still room for you right here. Come on in. Share with us the wisdom. You have the floor. We will sit here and listen to your wisdom. Come and lecture us. This is what I have to deal with. This.
Well, Jeff, you've been dealing with it since before I got here. You've been dealing with it for hours now. You love this stuff. And besides, if you have wisdom that we don't have and you're not sharing it, then you're responsible for all of our wrongness.
The thing is, Jeff Shaw, what you have to deal with is an individual encouraging you to fully express your opinions, which are clearly you believe that you understand some things that I need to know. You've said that multiple times, right? And that I'm not quite getting it. That I don't really have it down. I'm reeling. So come on. Otherwise,
Here, I'll drop the link again.
What to say about it? We dropped it like 4 or 5 times.
I know, but that's the excuse that I keep hearing.
Jeff Shaw is.
Do you see that, Jeff Shaw? Oh, copy and paste it. Copy and paste it in your browser. Since I didn't provide you a blue link, you can copy and paste on your. Okay. All right. That's probably why he was having so much trouble, because I wasn't doing that. What's up, smooth like shark dick? 10 out of 10 for the name.
Yeah, I like it too. He amusingly asked if it was too offensive for this channel. So, it's not very offensive at all. It's simply a simile, you know. You want to convey to the reader just how smooth whatever it is.
And I bet shark dicks are smooth.
I mean, is it any less weird to say? Is it even more weird, really, to say smooth as a baby's bottom than it does to say smooth as a shark's dick? If you're going to be paying attention to the undercarriage of something and testing its smoothness, you know, a shark, well.
And I mean, what are you doing touching all these baby bottoms?
Right, it's not weird.
Maybe you're a marine biologist and you need to touch shark dicks for science.
Yeah, but I mean, the first thing you learn in marine biology class is how to blow a shark. That's like day one in marine biology 101. They get everybody in the front. They've got a shark that's in the tank, and they got a little hole in the tank. And you know, you put your mouth there, and then the shark comes up and pokes your mouth like that.
That's what I've heard too. And that's how you get to be to get one of the good jobs at SeaWorld as well, I've heard, is if you can get acclimated to the animals your first day real well, then you get to be like the cool dolphin trainer or whatever, and get to go out and throw fishes to the dolphins that you have to blow later.
So, Ethan McDonald comes in once again on the attack. He's been on the attack a lot lately. Says Eric is not serious about running for president. Why don't you wait until after the time when I said I began campaigning, which is after the inauguration, and wait for me to fail to be serious about it, and then say that? I mean, I'm definitely serious about it right now. I never waver on the point. I talk about stressing out about the.
Hey, Jeff, did you see the link? I don't know if Jeff's seen the link yet.
Is Jeff still out here?
He's still looking for the link. I know.
Jeff is. You just want to talk to the tailor.
I mean, this is the only way to talk to me.
I'll leave the room right now, okay? And I'll let him come in and talk to you for a second. I'll come back in, 10 minutes, 12:45 my time.
Sounds good. If we need more time, I'll text you and tell you to take a hike.
Sure.
Okay. All right. He took the chat with him. Actually.
I've been told too that you need to spend years.
So, Jeff, you come in? Hey, Suze, are you in both streams? Because if you are, you might let Jeff know that he's still not here. So then it's just you and me, David.
Looks like it. I don't know if he's coming. I don't think he is.
I don't think he is either.
Yeah. He's obviously just.
Well, I don't know what to tell you guys, but in the meantime, since we're waiting for Jeff Shaw to arrive, tell me, can you still hear my audio? Could you hear my audio when I removed my Taylor window? Whoa. Who just jumped in? That's not Jeff Shaw. What the fuck?
My name's Jeff.
Well, fuck, I don't know. You might let Eric know what happened with the. I think that was Jeff Shaw.
Could have been. There's no way of really telling, though. I mean, somebody could have easily just came in here and,
Someone could have. So I just left a comment in Eric's live stream. I'll give him a second to see if he wants to jump back over. No, but I haven't been on TwFP in a minute. Introduce me to you. And I told you that I'm live streaming this through to my channel.
Yeah.
So, who is David? You've been behind the scenes a little bit, right?
Huh?
You've been behind the scenes now with Eric for a little while, for a second, haven't you?
Yeah. I've been coordinating with him. I mean, the main thing I did was I gave him a video of Destiny's. Or I didn't give him the video, but I had him look up. I wanted him to debate Police Destiny.
and he did like a video on like Disney's take on like wearing masks and stuff. He was saying like he was being very like morally, but that's the implied thing, is that he was like kind of morally preachy and stuff about wearing masks. Which I don't know. I mean, it wasn't necessarily like attacking any policies, because he wasn't really proposing any policies, but I heard him on a stream say that he thinks that wearing masks should be mandatory for people going out in public, which is kind of
good, rubs me the wrong way, but yeah.
There's this other guy that Eric really doesn't like, named Matt, who I used to consider a friend. Now I know he's kind of a douchebag, to be honest.
Matt, is he a typology person?
No, he's a philosopher.
Oh.
He wrote a paper called Datalogical Metaphysical Theory. And Eric hates his guts.
There's this YouTuber that I've recently...
Like, he runs a debate server
on Discord.
You didn't have anything again. Huh? You didn't have anything again. You didn't have anything again. So at this point, shut the fuck up, you know? Maybe his mouse is broken, so he can't left click.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
It's a good point. Really is a good point, yeah. Or, to Ethan points out, his finger might have broken. That's why he can't click the mouse. I mean, again, I have a voicemail from him, so I've heard his voice, although someone posited that he was drunk during that voicemail, but...
Oh, I'm glad to see that you put him in timeout, because I was about to put him in timeout until he came in here, but...
You know, I just explained, at this point, there's no reason to do anything but put you on timeout when you talk, because unless you want to, you know, we need to fix that attitude, little mister. We sure do, because you have not earned it. It is okay to come in here and be arrogant and push people around verbally and stuff if you are correct, if you are strong. You are incredibly weak and think you can push people around successfully by doing intelligent theater rather than actually making good points. Not gonna happen around here, buddy.
What a fucking anticlimactic way for that to go down. I was looking forward to some Piao.
I mean, it would have been great if you would have come and manned up, but, you know, it's like, I knew he wasn't going to man up because he's never manned up during any of our exchanges. I've asked him questions on multiple occasions, like, okay, well then, yeah or yeah, and he shifts ground. He doesn't answer the question. So that's proof right there that he is not the man up type. He doesn't like to be held to account for what he says or be expected to substantiate what he says. He just wants to, you know, tuck his tail up inside his vagina and cluck around the menstrual blood factory. No offense, ladies. No offense, ladies.
And we're sure that that's not Queen's Gambit.
As sure as I can be, without being 100% sure. Simply because he called me from a phone number, you know, that showed up. He left a voicemail. He called me multiple times one night. Like, I was asleep, my phone was out here, I didn't hear it. And you know, like by the end of the progression, he had concluded that I was scared of him and was avoiding him, and that's why I wasn't answering the phone, even though I was asleep the whole time. He was calling me, and then he also sent me, I think, a text too, maybe, but he left a fairly long voicemail. So, and the way it went, I just put him on timeout. He'll be off timeout soon enough. If you were not legitimately somebody distinct named Jeff Shaw, I really don't think all of that stuff would have happened. Like, he wouldn't have shown up all of a sudden, left 100+ comments on one video all of a sudden out of nowhere, and then called me multiple times that same night and left a voicemail if you weren't actually a new person who arrived at the channel and thought, I have to take this guy down a notch, which is clearly the primary motivation.
No substance. No actual argumentation.
Yeah, not at all. Queen's Gambit isn't like this. I think Queen's Gambit might be the one who comes in and called me a freeloader. That might be him, or that might be Becky. But that person's a long time, like they're really invested in hating Eric. Like they come back and again and again and again periodically. Sometimes they'll be gone for a week, but the person who always accuses me of being a freeloader, that person has been persistently trying to hammer that particular angle for a good 6 months at least, probably longer. So it's weird. I mean, the thing is, he's at McDonald's. Queen's Gambit, it's totally irrelevant when you say that. You say Queen's Gambit thinks I'm an ISFJ. He may actually think that. I don't know. But the reality is, Queen's Gambit absolutely despises me, and I'm incredibly threatening to him, and he can't handle it. He's got like some sort of daddy issue or something.
Did you know the guy in person, or is he just some guy on the internet?
He was just some person who originally was called Courts Jester, who was here in the live chat, and it was making some really weak arguments. And I said, dude, the shit you're saying is just absolutely weak, super, super weak. And he freaked out, and he changed the name of his channel to Queen's Gambit. He made a bunch of videos attacking me. Then he started making type police videos, copying type police from me. And I don't know. He's really into Voltology. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say, Ethan McDonald, is it is not the case that the conflict between us has anything to do with our purported disagreement over my type. His opinion about my type is motivated entirely by the fact that he wants to delegitimize me. That if I got my own type wrong, then that's a good attack on me. But of course, no sane person would say I'm an ISFJ. What an ISFJ is so I decided on a whim, fuck it, yeah, I'll go ahead and accept that 3 a.m. time slot from this person who wants me type. I'll just take much more Adderall. I'll just stay up all night. But ISFJ would do that. ISFJs do smoke weed. Kimberly smokes weed.
Yeah, sounds like bad SI.
Jeff Shaw says, for the record, Taylor and Eric did not respond to my request.
Not playing the game. Nope. I don't.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. Nope. Jeff Shaw doesn't get any more platform unless Jeff Shaw comes in here.
It's not too late. They're still looking to come in. The thing is, it's one thing to not come in here, and that's fine. But it's another thing to then continue to say that you're not coming in here for some reason other than you're scared or you don't want to actually have to be held to account or something like that, You're pretending it's something else.
What's he pretending it is? Is he
that
clear on that?
That we didn't respond to his request, and that Taylor's what else did he say? Taylor is that slippery thing that happens in anticipation. What does that mean? And he says, fuck you, Taylor. Why? Because he doesn't want to play your game? He's probably a little frustrated that I'm continuing to play your game.
I am a little bit frustrated that you're continuing to play the game. I just gave him the finger, if you can't see. But that's about it.
Yeah, Horse Bubbler sums it up. What request? Join and talk. Shut up, Jeff. Good point. Okay. Let's see. Who else is talking about what? I will read from the chat the words that people have said. Is it possible to show a negation that leads to the logical conclusion of type or a way type can be shown ostensibly? Well, Christopher Caesar, if you're asking, can we have a determinate thing? The closest we have to a determinate thing is the polar tests. Any polar test, which for a while I was getting a little skeptical about, I have come to see as possibly the most reliable of them, especially the invention question and Inky Pinkies. People who have any polar simply cannot come up with more than one good name for the invention, and they really have struggled a lot with Inky Pinky. So let's see. RxN to critique is consistent. RxN to critique? What does that mean? RxN to critique is consistent. Sean, I don't understand what you mean by that. Sean, would you like to join us and offer your thoughts on the matter? Oh, reaction to critique is consistent. You're welcome to join us and share your perspective on the matter.
Surprised no one else has joined.
There's Sean. You only have to ask Sean once.
Yeah, thanks for.
All right.
Yes, Sean, you may join.
All right, so what do you think about Jeff Shaw? Let's.
We're on that. That was the point. We're on to the next. We're on to the next. I really your system, and the most persuasive thing about it is, and after I type someone, like it hits all marks. When you how that slot, what that function is, I criticize that function, and their response to that critique is consistent in all 8, in absolutely all 8. Like I have a friend who really cares for me, really loves me, right? When I criticize her FE, right? And it's not directly, I don't say you have poor FE, right? But I'd make a criticism. All I did was make an example. I'm like, see, well, what you did and what someone might do, instead of using escalating language, well, that immediately attacks me, right? But I never take it seriously. I don't take it personally. And then later on, she's like, I didn't mean that. I do respect you and all that. I'm like, I know. I'm like, that's why I love typology. That's what's really giving me like so much clearness, like the way people are set up. And I mean, you could push on the polar. I love that. Like that's definitely part of the process, I think, for sure. But after I do that and find someone's polar, then I go down every single function slot and critique it and do it in a way, and their reaction to it is perfect with what you have set up. I mean, perfect. Like I've seen a post that I ignored. Someone put up a thing that's criticizing FE and saying, like overactive listeners, and they're mocking it, and I just totally disregard it. It's been up for a month. Somebody like bumped the post by saying something. They're an INFJ. They start typing. They're like, oh, that's so not me. And then towards the end, they're like, well, yeah, maybe that is kind of me. It's like, the begrudging acceptance. It's like right there. It's palpable. Like that's because they have tool FE. Like that's like the best part of your thing is the reaction to critique to me.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you letting me know as well when you find things that things are in fact consistent. I want to address Christopher Caesar's questions here, who says, I'm not quite sure what you're getting at here, but it's interesting me. So you say you start with the topic of asking me a question about, is it determinate, basically? Is there one thing that you can say for sure this is why we know 100% do this type? And the answer is is basically no, but if you see enough of a number of things line up, like Sean's saying, where it's like I was really distraught sort of the other day when I typed this person. I thought, gosh, they're an ENFP, but that's not consistent with my test expectations. Their TI is not polar. I don't understand this. And I should have just typed him at what their test, I should type him as, he's an INFP, but he seems so extroverted, right? So then when I asked him, well, what do you self-identify as? He said INFP. And it was like, okay, once again, shit validates even when I was willing to, I was ready for it not to. Christopher Caesar then asked, also on the topic of Adderall, do you see this as cognitively beneficial or is it just for the methamphetamine? Well, first of all, Adderall not methylated, so it's not a methamphetamine. It's just it's a couple of different kinds of amphetamines, none of which are methylated. But second, I would say I don't see it as cognitively beneficial. I see it as more productive. It makes me more productive. So, in other words, I get more shit done when I'm on Adderall, and I find things that are typically unpleasant less unpleasant when I'm on Adderall, or more manageable to do. However, there's some downsides to it as well. I generally don't do a great job of working on the thing I'm planning to work on. You know, it's like I'm going to take some Adderall and work on X. About a 20% probability I work on X. I'll probably work on some other letter. I might just tweak out on, reading Wikipedia. I might just, the other day I was playing League of Legends for a while. I'm terrible at it. I've played enough that already to be level 10 with my character though, so I don't like wasting hours on video games.
You might be good at
Go ahead.
this other game called what's it called? I can't remember. It's really popular now.
You can game the system. Like you set up a condition where the only thing that you're able to do, like you really trap yourself into a situation where like you could sit in silence or you could do the thing that you want, right? Like so like a writer will do, like we're in a place that doesn't have internet, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like if you want to write your book, then what can you do? You're just
That
like,
would not work for me.
no.
Is it called Call of Duty? That's a popular game.
Oh.
Is it called
Good
Skyfall?
at Call of Duty.
Is it called Skyfall or something like that?
It's called Among Us.
Among Us. People have told me about it. I want to play it. My daughter was recommending it strongly to me.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think it's a good game for like NTPs.
Okay, so I want to go play it right now, and that means I'll probably end this live stream right now. But before I end the live stream, so Susie, you seem like somebody who knows about the game, knows how to play it. Will you set up a game, and then I'll go and put a link for me to go join it, and then I'll join I'll log in or sign up or whatever I got to do.
It's just Mafia or Werewolf.
Okay, well, regardless, Sean, I've played it before. I've heard a lot of people tell me that I should play it. My daughter spent a whole time that we were in line at Starbucks, which was a long line, talking about that game and how much fun it was and how much fun she had. And this one time when she kept using one trick and she would kill the person and so it's like, okay, I gotta do it. Yeah. Okay, well, chat, what do you mean? Can we use this or what?
No, it's less focused on like dexterity. It's more focused on like I would say like language and like how we communicate, I guess. In a sense.
Okay, let's meet in the TwFP 1 room, which has more slots. Okay, and we can use that as our voice chat. And I don't have Discord, and I don't want Discord, and I don't like to hear about Discord all the time. I'm having an old man reaction to Discord. Okay? you kids and your new Discord server, I don't like it.
Well, we used to have to use Curse, and now we have Discord. And like it smashes Skype because it's actually secure. It's not getting hacked all the time. So.
Okay. Well. So anyway, why don't we go to TwFP 1? It's the same thing as this, except replace autonomy with TwFP 1, and that will be our voice chat room. And then Susie, you'll lead me from there. Yeah. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to Eat plenty of cheese. Wow, numbers are getting up a little bit better. There's peak concurrence of 39 that time instead of, for a while I had very